Alright, 4.31. Caesar, subject. Et si non sum eorum concilia cognovera. Subordinate clause, concessive clause. Even though he had not yet cognoverated eorum concilia, he nevertheless et ex eventu navium suorum et ex eo quod obsides dare intermiserant fore id quod accidit suspicabater. He nevertheless suspicabater. We can say like started to suspect. This is a deponent verb. It looks passive, but it's active. So he was suspecting, or he started to suspect. Is what's going on, but we'll go back. Nevertheless, both from the when to, from the outcome or the, what had happened, the result of those events, the event of Navium Suarum, and from the fact that for this AO quad, the fact that, and then the quad is really its own little clause. The fact that intermiserant, which you should have a good definition of intermiserant. They had made an intermission of, right, is where our cognate comes in, but they had stopped or temporarily left off, right? They had paused to dare obsides. They had stopped dareing obsides. Okay, so both from the eventu of Navium Suarum and from the fact that they had intermiseranted to obside to dare obsides, Caesar was suspecting that. And then we need an indirect statement. He was suspecting that. Here's our indirect statement. And then we have a relative clause going with it. Id quad is always a nice little, like AO quad, going together. He suspected that it would happen. Right? He was suspecting that something would happen. That what would happen? The thing which was already happening, or which had already, which already happened, right? To back up. But Caesar, even though he had not yet cognoverated eorum concilia, he nevertheless was beginning to suspect that the thing which happened would happen. This is our infinitive. You had it in your vocab list, that fore is short for futurum esse. So that it was going to be, or that it which has happened was going to be so, right? He was suspecting that that which happened would happen. And why was he suspecting it? Both from the eventu of Navium Suarum and from the fact that blah, blah, blah. Itaque ad omnes casus subsidia comparabat. And so, for is going to be the best translation of the ad here. For omnes casus, he was comparabating the direct object, subsidia. Nam et frumentum ex agris quotidie in castra conferebat. For frumentum ex agris quotidie in castra conferebat. He was doing that. And, pause for a relative clause briefly, quae gravissime ad flictae erant naves, the ships which ad flictae erant gravissime, Earum, so those ships, yes, and we'll go with this for now. The ships, quae gravissime ad flictae erant, but the editor tells you that the naves really belongs inside of it. Earum materia atque aere, and this materia I wouldn't necessarily know is ablative until I get to aere, and then I'm like, that's ablative, so it's anded to another ablative. Ad reliquas reficientas utebater, and then I'm like, oh, that's why they're ablative, Okay, so he was conferre-botting some things, and something about these ships, he was ute-battering. The direct object of utor is going to be ablative. Earum materia and earum aere for reliquas reficiendas, for reficiendaing the reliquas. So gerundive taking an object, right? For reficiendaing the reliquas. And quae eas res erant usui ex continenti comportari iubebat. Remember, I skipped over this. Right. Quae, the verb is erant, but I'm going to keep this nominative with it. And he was iubebating the things which, right, quae res, the things which erant usui ad eas to be comportarid ex continenti. Look at Caesar fixing things. Itaque. And so, cum, and this cum looks like it's followed by the ablative, but I've got some helpful comments from my editor. Cum, yeah, there's an ablative there, but remember that cum only means, is only with an ablative when it's like a person. So this ablative here is not with the cum. This cum is explaining this subjunctive verb, cum clause. And so we'll start translating it as when, and we might change it to since or although. And so when, verb, administrator, things were, but really just like it was being managed. Militibus, ablative of agent. Sumo studio, ablative of manner, right, with the sumo studio. So when that was going on, or even since it was being administrated. Duodecum navibus amissis, ablative absolute, right? Because of this participle, amissis, with 12 navibus having been amissis, and then we can say, like, maybe it means, like, because 12 navibuses had been amissis. Reliques. Ut through a subjunctive verb, effacit. He made it that, and that is what this that clause is. He caused it to be that. It could be sailed, right? That it would be able to be sailed satisfactorily enough. And then we actually do need to put the reliquis inside of this clause. By the reliquis. Okay. Or he made it that the rest could satisfactorily navigari, is what's going on here. And that's 4.31. Fixing ships. Right? So Caesar knew what was going on, and so he started getting ready, right? And that involved some corn, right? But it also involved these naves which had been afflictide gravissime, and he was ute-bantering their materia and their aere for reficierating the reliquas. And he was ordering some stuff too, right? So that even though we had lost some, the rest would be good.